Okay, so hello everyone, and let's continue it from the previous part as we left out on the various if and if else conditions. Now we are just going to check it out in the same pattern, some more functions. These are the count if and count if s. So how it's work and how it will do. So in this scenario, what we have to do, we can count on the base of condition. Like if I want to count it in a range where something is mentioned, like its example is written here, I could put a range where I want to look it on this, and then I want the condition, like I have placed at London. So the London is the something that if it's matched with the condition, it will uh, count that value. In the same way, you can refer the another cell address also. Even if you want to put a condition, you can put a condition on the criteria also. In the same way and the same pattern, if as function is COUNTIF is also work, but the COUNTIF has a functionality to add the multiple criteria or multiple conditions. Like criteria range, you can define it, and then criteria 1, 2, 3, and so on, you can apply it. The same way which we have seen in the if and if else. So in the case of if you want to put it in a nested way, you can also put it in a nested way, COUNTIF, but it's better you can use the COUNTIF function. So how it's working, let me show you a couple of example with the Excel. And okay, so this one is the example which is mentioned for the COUNTIF, and let me quickly open my Excel to show you. Okay, so this is what we have a values written as apple, orange, peach, and apples. So you can see the apple is repeated here twice. I have placed a formula here, COUNTIF, and with the COUNTIF, I put the condition as range as this one, that is A2 to A5, the cell addresses, and the criteria is apple. So when the apple match, it will take it as a count. If I put something else here, obviously it will not count. You can see the count is 0. The result is also displayed in this formula box. Okay, so in this way we can take it as a count. And same way if I go and put the condition, like I place the condition as greater than 80, you can see it here. Or if I just open the fx, you can see the condition I placed at greater than 80. If I put greater than 80, you can see the result is 1. Now if I edit this formula and put it 70, we have two values more than 70. Let me just quickly show. So you can see at greater than 70, its count is 2. And the count if, and the same way you can use SUMIF also. You can see this is the SUMIF where I put the condition as well as the criteria as well as the range. So you can see the range is this, that is B3 to F5, B3 to B5. And let me quickly edit it and put it at B2 to just make it from here, from the top one. Okay, B2, and the criteria range is greater than 70. Now it's counting a sum of these two values, because if I put a criteria is greater than 50, so let me show you the example. Okay, now it's changed to 215 because it's counting these three numbers. If I put down this as a less than, it must show only 32. So now you can see, but do remember this thing, if you are using a SUMIF, it will work with the numerical things, not like this. If I put the same, the count will work for the non-numerical data, but for the numerical ones, numeric data, it's only the sum if will work. It will not based on the sum. If it will not work if you are putting conditions like this. So in this way, we can use the SUMIF and the COUNTIF. And let me quickly show you how we can use the if, COUNTIF as this one. How it is going to work. Let me quickly go in the Excel. Okay, so we have mentioned the same. I have just mentioned the same example, which I have taken it here. And see, these are the results and how we can apply it. So if I go back in this and quickly show you here. So this is what we have here. You can see count if s, where I have taken a range B2 to D2, that is B2 to D2. This one is the range which I have taken it from here. And if I taken it is equal to yes, if the value should be yes, it will calculate. That will be in counters also. So if I go in the next row, what you can see. So now I have added the two conditions where I put the range as B2 to B5 and C2 to C5. So it will take the values from those and then it will display the two conditions value. Yes. And same one if I go there here, you can see once again it's I'm taking a value from B5 to D5 as well as B3 to D3. Now, if you can just go back in this section of the difference, so how it's basically working. If let me quickly just go back on the previous one. Okay, so here you can see the range criterias. You can mention it, and the based of those range criterias, it will calculate the result. It will count it. Like the first range is true, yes, it will count it. The second range is true, it will count it. But it would not. You can see that's why if in the B2 to B5 it's taken as yes and yes, it's count as 2. But if I take it under B5 and D3, sorry, in the B5 to D5 and B3 to D3 is taking yes, yes, but it is not counting because it's only a single one is true. You can see it here. Count if S is rarely used whenever you have such complex criteria when you need to apply it. Mostly COUNTIF and SUMIF are frequently used, and uh, in most of the cases, like whenever you go, mm, you may use the normal if conditions. So in the if you want to refer for the if condition, you can just watch out the previous part of this series. The detailed information is mentioned in the description section for the previous and the next video, as well as for the entire series of this Excel beginners to professional. So you can refer that checklist and see it out. Till that time, keep watching my channel and do subscribe it. Thank you so much.